Good morning. Took a minute for the live video to start. Good morning. What day is it? Hump day. Mike. All right. So I got another little NLP trick for you. So we all have something that we're good at. We've all got, an activity or some sort of skill that we're really good at. So the key to try to change your relationship to an event is, you can anchor different things to different events. So let me give you a better example. Tony tells a story about when he was really young as a therapist. Somebody sent him a kid who wasn't good in school. And the reason that he wasn't good in school was because he was dyslexic. But the real reason that he wasn't good in school was because he had a whole bunch of anchors about school because he had had a lot of bad experiences. So as Tony started talking to him, and in particular, the kid wasn't very good at spelling. And so Tony started talking to him, and as he was having a conversation, he was figuring out, what is the kid good at? Well, he figured out the kid was really good at surfing. This was a kid from Southern California, and he was a great surfer. So if you watch, when you talked about school, the kid's physiology was terrible. He would slump down, his head would go down, he was ashamed. But when he talked about surfing, his physiology was up and he had all the certainty in the world and confidence, and you could just see that his approach to that was completely different because he had a lot of references that he was very good at that. So what Tony started doing is he started talking about surfing and learning in the same context. So he said, how did you get so good at surfing? And how would I learn how to surf? And he started using school-related words to talk about surfing. How would you teach somebody else to surf? What if there was a surfing school? And he just kept going on and on and on, changing those anchors that the kid had to surfing. And so after a little while, he got the kid into state, he got him into his physiology, he had this positive physiology, and then he said, I want you to start surfing words. So I want to put yourself on the board and you're feeling yourself surfing. And while you're doing that, I want you to see yourself spelling things as you're surfing. And what do you know? The kid started spelling words like crazy. Because he was in the right physiology, because he felt confident, he was accessing parts of himself that he didn't when he was in school because he didn't feel confident and he had all these bad anchors. So how can you use this? So we've all got something we're really good at. So take the thing that you're really good at and look at the physiology and the confidence that you have when you're approaching that particular thing. And if you apply that same physiology to something that you're not doing very well, you're going to respond to it completely differently and even see yourself doing the things together. So like for him, when he put himself so he was actually surfing, and then he would spell. I want you to spell the word. I want you to surf the words. That way you stay in that particular physiology. So like my uncle is watching. Good morning, Uncle Bill. He watches me every morning. He is a tremendous motorcycle rider. And he has unbelievable confidence in that. If you watch him get on a motorcycle, he's one of these guys that he can hop on and one-handed pull a wheelie and turn the handlebar sideways and go down the road like 3 miles doing a wheelie. It's crazy. So if there was something that he was doing that he didn't have confidence in, he should ride a motorcycle through that particular thing because he has so much confidence riding that particular motorcycle. Let's say your confidence is that you're really good at spelling, but you're not good at cooking. You don't feel like you're a good cook, okay? Now, can anybody learn to be a good cook? Of course, if you follow the recipe and you follow the patterns. So you put yourself in the physiology of spelling. How is it that you do the spelling? And don't think, just do it. But if you watch, there's a series of steps that you'll take. You'll put yourself in a certain physiology. You'll focus a certain way. If you approach cooking with that same physiology, okay, I'm going to spell the recipe. When you spell something, you have to go in a certain pattern. You have to think of something in a certain way. You have to look at the word and then, follow the rules and then figure out how to spell it out. Well, if you say, all right, I'm going to do that cooking. I'm going to do that same approach. I'm going to spell this recipe and fix this meal. You're going to find that you're going to do it completely differently. So the NLP tip, take what you're good at, do it more. Okay, so you get even better, but notice the physiology, notice the focus while you're doing it. Put yourself in that moment where you're doing that particular event, and then while you're doing that, associate it to something that you don't do quite as well. And pretty soon you're going to see that that thing that you don't do quite as well, you're going to do it just as good. So ride your motorcycle through spelling, spell your way through a menu, surf your way through spelling, whatever it is. Take that thing that you're great at and use that physiology and apply it to other stuff. Put yourself in that state. Remember, the system for accomplishing anything is state, story, strategy. Put yourself in the proper state. Get out of your story, change your story, make your story that it's possible, then do your strategy. Anything that you accomplish is 80% psychology and 20% technology. It's almost all psychology. If we're not losing weight, it's psychology, it's not technology. If we're struggling with money, it's psychology, it's not technology. So get yourself in the right state, and then everything else is going to happen. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.